For this video, I have my predictions for the July monthly awards cards that we're going to be getting. This program drops in MLB The Show 21 Diamond Dynasty on, I believe, Thursday, August 5th, okay? Thursday, August 5th, that's when it's coming out, just a few days from now. In the comment section below, let me know your predictions. Who do you think is going to be the lightning card, the big one, the other cards? Let me know your predictions down in that comment section. Y'all are watching this video right now. Please do me a favor, leave a like. Feel free to subscribe if you're not already, on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Before we get into the predictions, I just want to say, as always, just because I'm predicting somebody doesn't mean that they're going to be getting a card. And just because I don't mention somebody does not mean that they will not get a card. There's guys that I already know I'm going to get comments about that I don't include in this video, like Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, Raisel Iglesias, Frankie Montas, lots of people like that where they had good months. I just didn't include them in my predictions, but that doesn't mean that I'm right and those people will not be in them, or the people that I say will be. So just taking a look at how the program is, there's typically 3 pitchers and 6 position players, and I don't know if it's been like this all year. I want to say it has, where it's 3 infielders, 2 starting pitchers, and 1 relief pitcher. So for my predictions, I'm going to have 2 starting pitchers, a reliever, 3 infielders, 3 outfielders, okay? 6 position players, 3 pitchers. That's how I'm going to do mine. And one thing to keep in mind, okay, as well, is you need to do the collection. The collection is necessary for getting the program done. That's how it's been all year. I'm sure it will be the same, which means you need all of the Tops Now cards. Now you get half of them by doing the Tops Now moments, and you get the other half doing the program. So if you play the game, you do Tops Now moments, you do the Player of the Month program, you won't need to buy any of these cards. However, if you did the Tops Now moments and then sold these cards, you will need to buy at least half of them back, because you get half of them by going through the program. And then the last thing before I get into my player predictions is the last one we had a 42 series pack. Now I could be wrong, but I think it's at least sort of likely that we see all-star and or home run derby packs. Not necessarily going to happen, but just something to keep in mind, that it is a possibility that we might be seeing those all-star and home run derby packs pop up in this program. Now for my predictions, I'm going to start with my pitchers, then go to my position players. And our first pitcher, our first of 2 starting pitchers for me, is going to be Walker Buehler. And I feel like he's pretty likely to get a card, in my opinion, a Player of the Month card. I don't know about the Lightning, but just a card in general. He had the highest WAR among pitchers for the month of July, and the only card he has in the game is this one. So we would be able to get a higher overall Walker Buehler, which we don't have yet. He led the MLB in FIP for the month of July as well. So I feel like he's likely to get a card. It might not happen, but he was the best, according to WAR, starting pitcher in the month of July. So I feel like it's pretty likely, especially since this is the only version of him that we have. Now my second starting pitcher, which could be wrong, but I have Kenta Maeda. He had the best whip among starters in the month of July, okay? He was 5th in WAR among starters, but hear me out. The only guys ahead of him for WAR were Zach Wheeler, who already has a Player of the Month card, Corbin Burns, who already has a Player of the Month card, Lucas Giolito, who I don't think he has another version of, so I think maybe he could possibly get one, but I think his live series might be a little bit higher than Kenta's, but I could be wrong on that. And then Walker Buehler, number 1 in WAR. So I feel like Kenta Maeda would be a good choice for that second starting pitcher. Maybe Kwon Young Kim on the Cardinals. If Harrison Bader doesn't end up getting a card, maybe he could be one. He had a really good month as well. I think he had the lowest BABIP out of all starting pitchers for the month of July. So he had a good month. 2 earned runs allowed. Talking about Kim on the Cardinals until his last start, where he allowed 5 more. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Kenta Maeda is my second choice for starting pitching, as well as Walker Buehler. I'm curious to see who y'all think will be the 2 starting pitchers down in the comments. Now for my 1 reliever, I'm going with Blake Treinen. He had 0 earned runs allowed. He did not allow an earned run in the month of July. Opponents had a 0.93 average against him in July. He allowed only 2 walks, 3 hits, and had 12 strikeouts for the entire month. And if it's not Treinen, I could see maybe Amir Garrett. He was my second choice to cover, but I'm going with Blake Treinen. I don't think we have another version of him in the game, so it would get him a higher overall card, maybe a potential diamond. I think it'd be a good choice too that people would use, right? High velocity, probably would have high hits per 9 on that card. sinker, slider, cutter, four seam, good pitch mix, I feel like it'd be a really solid selection that people would actually want to use if they go with Treinen for the reliever. Now on to the infielders and then the outfielders. Manny Machado, I don't think will get a card. He's an honorable mention for me. He led the MLB in WAR for the month of July, which was the same with, I believe, Byron Buxton for that first month, and then Marcus Semien in the second month. So they could give Machado a card. I don't think it will happen because we just got his award series card, so I don't think they would release those cards super close to each other, but you never know. I figured I would give him an honorable mention though, just because he was the leader in WAR. He had the best month out of position players for the month of July, also had the third highest OPS out of all position players for the month. Now for my first actual infielder player of the month pick is Joey Votto, and I could see him getting the lightning card. I really don't know who's gonna get the lightning card, man. I feel like it's either him, Juan Soto. Oh man, there's a few people: Harrison Bader, Manny Machado, I think Kyle Farmer. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I really don't know who's gonna get that lightning card. I feel like a possibility is Joey Votto. In my opinion, Votto, no matter what, gets a card. I don't know if it will be the lightning, but I feel like with the month and the stretch specifically that he had, I feel like he's no matter what gonna get a card in my opinion, whether it's the lightning or a low overall one. He had the most homers in July, as well as the second highest OPS in July, and then the highest slugging percentage in July. So to me, especially with that stretch that he had, I feel like there's no way he doesn't at least get a card. I just don't know if it would be the lightning. Next up for my infielders is going to be Kyle Farmer, and one thing I will say is for Joey Votto, he probably has, I think he won an MVP, so I feel like he would have an award series MVP card coming, so that might make them more likely to give somebody else the card that just doesn't already, we know, have a high overall card coming. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But next up is Kyle Farmer, and I will say I feel like they don't usually do two guys from the same team, so because of that, I could always see Votto not getting a card at all, him getting an MVP card very soon, and then Kyle Farmer maybe getting a player of the month card. Just a few things to think about, but he plays a lot of positions. Second base primary, you can see secondary catcher right there. He had the highest batting average for July at 395. His OBP was 456, and then he had the fifth highest OPS out of all players for the month of July. So I feel like he's a sneaky pick for a player of the month card. In my opinion, went a little bit under the radar for the month, and I could see him getting the lightning card. I don't know how likely it is, but I feel like he had a really good month, and if they're not going to give it to Votto or Machado or Soto, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, I feel like Kyle Farmer could be maybe a underdog type of choice for the lightning card, but I wouldn't be surprised, especially if Votto doesn't get one at all, to see Kyle Farmer getting a player of the month card in some capacity. So that's it for my infielders. One guy to keep in mind is Jonathan India. He had a 998 OPS in July, 470 OBP, 4 homers, 7 doubles, 29 hits. Pretty good defender as well. So Jonathan India, but he's also a red, which again, I feel like they might not give more than one player from a team a card. You know, Bo Bichette, I think, had a solid month. Chris Taylor, there's Austin Riley. There's lots of guys to think about that could get cards. And just because I'm not focusing on them doesn't mean they won't get a card. And just because I'm focusing on somebody doesn't mean that they will get a card. But next up, we got Juan Soto. And I could see him getting the lightning card as well. The only thing is, he has that home run derby card. So would they do that? I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be bad. I feel like a player of the month Juan Soto, especially a lightning card, would have better defense than the home run derby card. So that's one thing to keep in mind why they might actually do it, because it would be a better, probably overall well-rounded card. So I got Juan Soto here. He was tied for the WAR leader with Manny Machado. Him and Machado both had, I think, 1.6 or 1.8 WAR for the month of July, and like I said, he has that home run derby card, so maybe an outfielder would take a spot, somebody like Franmil Reyes, but I'm picking Juan Soto as a potential lightning card. You know, highest OPS in July, highest on base percentage in July. I feel like it'd be a solid choice. Feeling would be better than a home run derby card, and I'm really curious to see who's actually getting the lightning and who's actually getting the cards, and if Juan Soto is one of those guys. For my second outfielder, I'm going with Harrison Bader, and I feel like he has a chance to get the lightning card. I don't think he will. to me, I feel like he's almost guaranteed a player of the month card in some capacity, right? Whether it's a lower overall one, the lightning one. I feel like he's probably going to get one just because he had a really good month and his live series card is his only version, and it would be a well-rounded card. Diamond defense with some really solid hitting, and I feel like Harrison Bader, I don't know if it would be the lightning, but I think he deserves a card. Probably biased though as a Cardinals fan, so y'all gotta let me know about my bias. What do you think down in the comment section? For the month of July, he had a 357 batting average with 5 home runs, 7 doubles, and a 1021 OPS. So he did really well at the plate, and then we already know he has amazing defense with amazing speed. So I feel like it would be a really well-rounded card, and depending on how much they juiced his hitting attributes, could potentially be the lightning card. Had a good average, had good slugging, and I could see it happening. I don't think it's super likely he gets the lightning, but I really believe, especially since his live series version is the only version of him in the game, that he's going to get a card, at least in some way. Now, my final guy I'm going to talk about is another dude that I feel like could potentially get that lightning card. It really depends on what MLB The Show and SDS just decides to do. Our final selection for outfielders is going to be AJ Pollock. He does not have another card just like Harrison Bader, okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind, is he might get a player of the month card just because some of these other dudes have other cards. They want to give a guy with only one his live series another card, maybe a diamond. So one thing to keep in mind. But in the month of July, AJ Pollock had a 371 average with 7 home runs, 8 doubles, and had an OPS of 1121. So he had a really good month at the plate. Now here's, looking right at the screen, why I think somebody like Harrison Bader might be a little bit more likely than AJ Pollock to get that lightning card, and it's because of the defense. You can see his live series has that common defense. I don't know how much they would have to boost it to make him the lightning, and I just don't know if they would do that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I truly don't know who's going to be the lightning card. I think you could give it to AJ Pollock, Harrison Bader, Juan Soto, Joey Votto, Freddie Freeman, maybe Walker Buehler even. I don't know, man. There's a lot of guys that have really good months. I feel like it's just going to be hard to choose a lightning, and I genuinely don't know who it's going to be. So that's going to be it for my predictions. I'm really curious to hear y'all's down in the comment section. I truly have no idea who's going to be the lightning card. Like I said, I feel like it could be AJ Pollock, maybe Harrison Bader, biased Cardinals fan here, Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman, Joey Votto, Kyle Farmer. Maybe they go with a pitcher since we haven't had one yet, Walker Buehler. I really don't know, man. I can't wait to see who it is. I can't wait to see who y'all think is going to be the lightning and just deserves cards in general. Like, comment, subscribe, social medias. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I definitely left out people, and I definitely will be wrong on at least a few of my picks. So I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out.